Welcome to Warpstorm Weekly, your one-stop spot for all things Warhammer 40k. I'm Aaron, and each week we'll dive into the latest and greatest in the grimdark universe, from the frequent rules updates to new releases, lore, and more. So grab your paints and your dice, and let's get into it. This week, Black Library is releasing a new novel in the Farsight series, titled Farsight, Blade of Truth, by Phil Kelly. The story delves into the murky history of Commander Farsight, one of the most infamous heroes of the Tau Empire. Picking up after his voluntary exile following the Empire of Lies, Farsight left behind his battlesuit and the mysterious Dawnblade, retreating to the world of Violus. There, he grapples with the shocking truth about the ethereal caste might be controlling the Tau through more than just charisma and wisdom. However, his isolation is interrupted when the Tyranids threaten to consume Violus, forcing Farsight to confront his past, the influence of the Orvar, and a young rebel named Torchstar, who brings advanced battlesuits to the fight. This novel continues the saga building on the events of Farsight and its previous installments, Crisis of Faith and Empire of Lies. Having read Farsight and Crisis of Faith, I can honestly say these novels are fantastic. They offer a fascinating look into the terrifying and grim reality of the Imperium from the perspective of another race, showcasing not only the horrors the Tau face, but also layers of propaganda that shaped their worldview. What really stands out is how the concept of the greater good isn't as perfect as it initially seems, adding a deeper complexity to the Tau and their beliefs. The books are packed with intense space warfare, and one of the most memorable moments is when Farsight attempts peace talks with a bloodthirster who's actively trying to kill him. It's pretty hilarious and also a bit tragic. Also how it highlights just how naive the Tau can be when dealing with the darker forces of the galaxy. Overall, they're an engaging read, and I'll definitely recommend them to anyone interested in the Tau or just looking for a new perspective on Warhammer 40k. The Emperor's Children are finally set to come out with their army. The pre-order is this Saturday. This set includes 33 stunning miniatures, featuring the extravagant Lord Exultant and his retinue of 20 Marines that can be built as either Tormentors or Infractors, along with 2 units of 6 Noise Marines. The set also comes with a special 112-page codex filled with lore, rules, and beautiful art, plus datasheet cards and a transfer sheet. If you're a fan of Slaanesh and the Emperor's Children, this is a set you won't want to miss, and I'm assuming it's gonna sell out real quick. Now, let's take a look at the Emperor's Children army rule, Thrill Seekers. Thrill Seekers grants your units the ability to advance and charge, as well as fall back and charge. A powerful combination that boosts your army's mobility. However, there are some limitations. You cannot charge or attack a unit you just fell back from, nor can you target a unit that was already the focus of another unit's charge or attack in the same phase. Despite these restrictions, this rule allows your army to move swiftly across the battlefield, offering exceptional flexibility and the ability to strike whenever the need arises. The speed and aggression provided by Thrill Seekers make your Emperor's Children a formidable force to be reckoned with. In the new Emperor's Children Codex, there are 6 unique detachments, each offering their own unique advantages. Let's break them down. Starting with Kotiri of the Conceited. This detachment is all about making high-stakes promises to Slaanesh in exchange for rewards. You'll pledge to destroy a specific number of enemy units during the battle round, and if you succeed, you will be rewarded. However, if you fail to meet your promise, your warlord will suffer D3 mortal wounds as punishment. As your kill tally rises, so do the buffs, represented by pact points. For 1 point, all your units gain the ability to reroll 1s when attacking. 3 points, you can reroll 1s to wound. 5 points, you gain lethal hits and sustained hits 1. And 7 points, you can score critical hits on a 5+. Internal rivalries. This detachment revolves around the concept of a favoured champion. At the start of the game, your warlord is your favoured champion. However, as the battle unfolds, the first time any Emperor's Children character or their unit destroys an enemy unit during each player's turn, that character becomes the new favoured champion. The key benefits here is full rerolls to wound for your favoured champion and their unit, keeping them deadly throughout the battle. Mercurial Host. This detachment is simple yet effective. With the Quicksilver's Grace rule, you can reroll advance rolls, giving your army impressive mobility. Combined with their army rule, this detachment makes for a fast and nimble force, capable of striking when needed with speed. Rapid Evisceration. The core rule here is Mechanized Murder, which allows you to reroll the hit and a wound roll of 1 when a unit disembarks from a vehicle. There are also strategies that allow you to send rhinos or land raiders back into strategic reserves. This detachment is perfect for noise marines in rhinos, as the rerolls significantly increase your overall damage output, about a third more. In fact, making your disembarked units even deadlier. Peerless Bladesman. The core rule is Exquisite Swordsmanship, which grants lethal hits or sustain hits 1 on your melee attacks when you make a charge. With the army rule allowing advance and charge as well as fallback and charge, you'll be the one making most of the charges, ensuring your opponents are always on the defensive. Carnival of Excess. This detachment allows you to ally with Slaanesh demons, where up to half of your army's points can be used on demons with the Legions of Excess keyword. Units from both factions empower each other when they're within 6 inches, granting sustained hits 1. If a unit already has this ability, they gain critical hits on a roll of 5+. This detachment is perfect for creating synergy between your Emperor's Children and their demon allies, amplifying their damage potential. These detachments bring a variety of playstyles to the Emperor's Children army, allowing you to tailor suit your strategy to your preferred approach, whether it's focusing on speed, brutal assaults, or manipulating your kill tally for greater rewards. This week in my hobby adventures, I attended my very first local tournament for 10th edition. The last time I entered one of these was back in 9th edition and I came in dead last. But this time I have a lot more experience under my belt. The tournament was a 1500 point game and I was using the Ironstorm Spearhead Strike Force for my White Scars, which gives each unit a free reroll to hit, wound, or damage. Something I really need as I tend to roll terribly, and it also helps combat that weakness. And I do also love the Flesh is Weak enhancement for that 4+ Feel No Pain. My list included a captain in Gravis armor with 5 heavy intercessors, a chaplain on bike with a 6-man outrider squad, and a multi-melter invader ATV. Kasaro Khan with a 10-man assault intercessor squad, a 5-man intercessor squad, a 5-man assault intercessors with jump pack squad, a 3-man Blade Guard veteran squad, a Gladiator Lancer, a Redemptor Dreadnought with Macro Plasma Incinerator, and a Storm Speeder Thunderstrike. I've already got quite a few White Scars painted up, but I added some new units for this tournament, like the Gladiator Lancer, the 5 Assault Intercessors with jump packs, and 3 more Outriders with the ATV. I only decided to enter the tournament 2 days before, so I had to paint up all these new units and fast. Thankfully, my White Scars are pretty simple to paint, and if you want to see how, check out the video link just up here. However, my biggest challenge was the temperature. It was over 35 degrees, which is around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. My white primer through my airbrush was not cooperating at all. And with 1 day left, I had no other choice but to get up super early when it was still cool and try out a cheap white rattle can I found in the garage. And I wasn't sure it was going to work at all, but I gave it a go. Spraying all the models as thinly as I could, it did not turn out as planned. There was a lot of spattering from the can and the paint was very thick. But hey, when it comes to this hobby, things don't always go as they're expected to. And I wasn't going to miss out on the opportunity to pass up on 10 victory points for a fully painted army. So I went over everything that had a lot of the spattering with some thin coats of white paint. Then I added a black oil wash to fill in all the recesses. This took majority of my morning, but I honestly didn't give up. I just cranked up some music and just locked in. By the time I finished, it was like 30 minutes past midnight and I was exhausted, but all the models were ready. The tournament kicked off at 10:30 in the morning and my first match was against the Emperor's Golden Boys, the Custodies. I did end up winning with a score of 92-54, though my opponent had a real rough time with his rolls. I've never seen so many ones. I did start to feel really bad, as I think we've all had games when just luck is not on your side, but a win's a win and my spirits were super high going into the second match. The second game was a hammer and anvil deployment against a tower firing line with minimal cover. It quickly shifted from excitement to survival mode as the tower dealt out serious firepower. By round 3, it was pretty much over and I took my first loss of 39-61. And after that, the pressure was all off. I just focused on having fun for the final game, which was against Tyranids. We actually just had a blast with this game. We're just throwing units into the center and it was keeping the game so tense as the score was like neck and neck each round. But unfortunately, at the end of round 5, my opponent went second and scored big on primary and ending it with a score of 59-79, a loss. Still, I finished in the top 50% out of the 20 players, way better than dead last. Overall, the day was actually fantastic. I met a great group of people and everyone was super friendly. And I would definitely recommend attending events in your local game store. Even if you don't think you're ready for a tournament, just go and have some fun. That's honestly what really matters most. That's all for today's episode of Warpstorm Weekly. I hope you've enjoyed this video and let me know your thoughts in the comments and if you're planning on picking up the Emperor's Children Army box. Also, if you want to share your own models or just chat about all things Warhammer, please be sure to join our Discord. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. To the community of painters, players, and lore masters, thank you so much for joining me today. Your enthusiasm and support fuel this channel and our shared passion for the grimdark that is Warhammer 40k. Until our next adventures across the warp, I'll see you War Masters next time.